Hey guys, what's up? Stephen here, and we're back to another Roblox model. So what we're gonna do now, or what's we're gonna discuss, is kind of the difference. We're not gonna tackle in depth, but what we're going to do is discuss the difference of weld and union. Have it come across to your idea what's the difference of union and what's the difference of actually welding the part? Because the purpose of having them stay together is kind of different to combining together. So union is more on combining your parts together, but welding is it's still two separate parts, but you can code them differently. So let's say we're adding some script here. Let's say adding script, and then I'll just copy that and paste it directly on my other script. So let's say I play this. Would you say that if union is kind of the same on the weld part, on the welds part is it would act the same? So let's find out. So usually what's gonna happen here is this is actually treated as a whole part. So supposedly it's gonna rotate in this middle. But since this is a different part than this, but this is also combined to this, what's gonna happen is as soon as this rotates, this follows. So let's see. Let's play. So if you notice, we have a union that is rotating in the middle, and we have a part that is rotating in its middle, but the welded part follows along. What's the point of this? I could just like use the union part and adjust its pivot to make it similar to this. But what happens if I also want to rotate the other part? Let's say I want to rotate this. What do you think would happen? So let's play and see. So this means it has two codes and it's actually spinning much faster. It's kind of like double code, but at the same time, it's actually spinning together and much faster than this, wherein we kind of duplicated the code. And the reason for that is just because the part and the C-frame is we're moving on a certain angle. But let's say if I wanted to, let's stop this first for now. If I wanted this part to actually rotate on his own axis, then I can do that with this rotating and this one rotating again. I just need to change this code. Plus, after also I want to if I wanted to change this code, I would change the code, but there is also a problem with weld constraint. So instead of weld constraint, I need to put it on a weld function so it would have its own axis. Because right now, while this both the share the same axis and angles, uh, what prevents me from just coding it is the weld constraint. So if I just wanted, then I would just put in the weld part, wherein I will just weld it manually, weld it right here and there, similar to attaching part. We're not gonna go in depth today, but that is just assuming I want to also do a certain weld axis, weld or different code on the axis of the welded part. So that's what's happening, and what we can do is a separate factor wherein let's say we put this on red, and let's say we put in a script now wherein we insert a player on that part. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna run the same, but let's test this out if put this right, we should get a different function wherein we're not killed here, but we're killed here. This is the difference. So it has two codes, and I don't actually need to code the rotate on the other part. It just follows along. So I can just stay here and the other parts are going around, and this is the difference on a welded function. Whereas is if I actually change this to a kill break, this whole two blocks would instantly kill this player or instantly make the health zero and go oof south. So yeah, that's gonna be the difference of a union part and a welded part. So in some of our next videos, we're gonna tackle the actual weld and not the weld constraint, but it's much more easier to do the weld constraint because this is kind of the same concept wherein you actually or the part that is welded into the main part follows along. Wherever you move it, it follows along. But of course, by movement is by code, not the actual Roblox Studio movement. So I hope you learned something on this video and catch you on another video.